All right, people. Couldn't wait for this week, people. I could not wait for this week. Welcome back to Just Bet TV. Of course, this is the show where we give you the biggest football moments and give you the insights to help you make smarter bets. I'm Jordan Fort, and that's the bad man over there.
I'm Shav.
Them call him Shav. But guess what? People? He make a little talk last week, and him swear say it was never ever going to come to fruition. But we're one step closer to Shav having to wear an Arsenal jersey for what, 2 weeks straight? Oh, go.
Yeah, with double.
Yeah.
A month.
Yeah.
Champions League or the Premier League, 2 episodes.
2 episodes, all right. So 2 episodes if we win. When we win the Premier League and when we win the double, you have to wear it for 1 month straight. So, of course, people, say we have to start with the Premier League. And, of course, Arsenal getting a 1-0 win over West Ham and keeping the Premier League title race in their own hands. Manchester City did their business, of course. They beat Brentford 3-0 despite my bad mind in City. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But of course, as much as I'm laughing and Arsenal fans are dreaming big now, there's still no room for comfort because one slip up, City can still be right back in it. And we know how City are when they are chasing a title. And we know Pep Guardiola and this team can really pull out all the stops to win titles. They've shown it in the past. So I see a man who had his bottle with Arsenal crest on it. Mm-hmm. The Arsenal are bottlers. I see him pushing him buckling in him little sweater. And him no bother with the buckle this time. But of course we know that the Gunners really need to keep winning. 2 more matches for the Gunners. And of course Manchester City will have 3 more matches.
3 more.
And they'll want to win all 3 of those matches in the Premier League, that is, plus their FA Cup final to see if they can win a treble, a domestic treble.
Right.
So the big question now, will it be a historic double for Arsenal, or will Manchester City spoil that, stamp their dominance once again, and get a treble? They've already won the Carabao Cup. Mm-hmm. No, well, a double, yeah.
A double.
Yeah, so it's only the Carabao Cup they've won. But no, it can be a treble. Because the FA Cup and the Premier League, so the domestic treble.
Right, fair.
Yeah. So them can win the domestic treble. We know they won't, people. But anyway, let's get into last week's football in action. And let's start with Liverpool versus Chelsea. So, entertaining 1-1 draw between Liverpool and Chelsea at Anfield. I must say that I wasn't expecting this kind of scoreline. Of course, we'll talk about the predictions and who is the lead a little later on. But Liverpool dropping points, a little bit slowing down their Champions League qualification push, and they'll be fine. I already said, I think a couple of weeks ago, that I think all the top 4 Champions League spots and the 5th spot as well should be fine. For Chelsea, it was a big result for them. Because guess what? They've been losing and skidding. So, I mean, even though they didn't win, to finally stop the skid, that was a big deal for Chelsea.
I think they can call that a win in their regard.
Yes, like a win, and especially because it was at Anfield.
Right, yeah.
So they would feel good about at least getting a point from that. And their European hopes are very, very slim.
I think it's done for
almost
them.
non-existent.
I think that is it, Jordan.
Yeah.
I think that is it.
Yeah, so
European football for Chelsea.
I don't think so. I don't see that happening in terms of Europa League or Champions League. At least there are some quirky scenarios in the league depending on, because remember, there's an English team in the Europa League final in Aston Villa, and the Conference League final is Crystal Palace.
Right.
So they could yet free up another spot
in the Conference League.
Yeah. So we don't know yet.
So
but let's see what happens.
They'll be the biggest supporters for both Villa and Crystal
Palace. So let's see what happens with Chelsea. But of course, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Arsenal moving a step closer to their first Premier League title in 22 years. First since the Invincibles, right? 1-0 win over West Ham, who were trying to save their Premier League lives. That was a big loss for West Ham. Of course, there was drama. There had to be drama. Leandro Trossard with a late strike in the second half. Looked like Arsenal were sailing to a 1-0 victory right on the full-time whistle. They had West Ham at the ball in the back of the net. And then VAR did its job, people. That's what VAR is supposed to do, right? The VAR did its job.
Yeah, VAR did its job.
They called the referee to the monitor. The referee reviewed the incident. It was a foul on David Raya. And of course, the goal was chalked off. Free kick to Arsenal. The rest is history. A lot of chatter around it. A lot of people saying a lot of crap about it shouldn't have been a foul, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the pictures are clear. And that's why VAR was invented in the first place, because they were supposed to pick up on clear and obvious errors. Those are the two words I always use, right? Clear and obvious errors. That was a clear and obvious error by the referee. Didn't see a man tugging on the shirt of the goalkeeper, David Raya, and an ex-man putting his arm across Raya's arm, literally preventing him from catching the ball properly. Well, Raya would have caught that easily. Come on, people.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
By the way, a third straight golden glove for David Raya.
Yeah, no.
Most clean sheets.
Let me just state this here now. You guys have the best goalkeeper in the league. No doubt about that. So I'll give you guys that trophy, but I don't want to give you anything else.
We have a couple trophies. Couple more trophies to it. Couple more to win. So of course, as we said, for Arsenal, a big win, 5-point gap at the top, and there's rest now for Arsenal. A few injury issues. We saw Calafiori have an injury issue, and
Ben White.
Yeah, Ben White, and then we know Timber has not returned yet from his injury, so that's a big question mark. Good signs for Arsenal that Havertz came on,
right,
and was playing, so at least he's back in the fold. They said Merino might be back in time for the Champions League final. I don't know how that will work.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have the match fitness though.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So if he's not back at least for the final league game,
right,
before the Champions League final, I don't know.
That would be a good.
If he really playing.
I noticed in the West Ham game, even Declan Rice was playing at right back.
Yeah, at one point when Ben White went down, and people are cutting off Arteta for this because he had Declan stay at right back, and then he brought on Zubimendi.
Right.
And then he had to switch back Zubimendi, so he did a double sub.
He did the double sub.
The old double sub that no player likes, but got it right in the end. And of course, Arsenal won it 1-0. West Ham, London rivals in the relegation zone, and their survival hopes are slipping out of their own hands because Tottenham, who we'll talk about a little later, avoided defeat in their match on Monday against Leeds. That was a 1-1 draw. So West Ham really up against it now to save their life, but they can still do it.
They can
still do it. Tottenham
mathematically.
For sure. And let's see what West Ham continues to do as they continue to fight for their Premier League life. I mean, the worst case scenario for a Tottenham fan would have been Arsenal already out of sight with the league,
right,
and could allow West Ham to come out of the relegation zone and get Tottenham relegated. So essentially to relegate Tottenham Hotspur. But of course, that's not the case in this scenario. And I, to be honest with you, as an Arsenal fan, even though Tottenham are our North London rivals,
right,
I want them in the league.
Yeah, you have to look.
I want a North London derby.
Yeah, you have to have that
every year. I don't want Tottenham playing in the Championship. So of course, as we said, that happened, and that is two ends of the table affected, the top of the table and the relegation zone. Manchester City, of course, keeping their Premier League race alive, commanding 3-0 win over Brentford.
Yes.
I was bad man in Brentford. I was bad man in City and hoping that Brentford would win. But guess what? The first half was tense. Mm-hmm. But when Jeremy Doku, that boy, when him dropped the shoulder, boy.
Yeah, man, trust me. He's coming in clutch.
Different.
Because he was the one that saved the point against Everton as well. Yeah, he's coming in clutch.
I mean, when City has had nothing, Doku had found something for City. So the brilliant opener, of course, Erling Haaland, inevitable, always on the score sheet for City. And then Omar Marmoush, big substitution made by Pep Guardiola. I mean,
that did a lot for his confidence because he was down in the mud.
When I saw him come off the bench, I mean, Guardiola has some players that he's just parked for so long, you forget that they're even on the roster, and then they come up big. So big points for City, keeps them in the hunt, and of course the 3 goals and conceding none ensures that their goal difference is still pretty.
Right, I think that's what they're thriving on also, because in their minds, they think that it will come down to the wire.
It could come down to goal difference.
Yeah, so they're trying their best to rack as much goals as possible.
Yeah, and not only goal difference, it could come down to goals scored.
Goals scored, that's
and they've been outscoring Arsenal. So I'm thinking they're trying to rack up the goals. I agree with you, Shav. So, of course, we said a statement performance for City, heading into, of course, a very big week for them, which will also include the FA Cup final.
Yes.
And, the end of the running. And for Brentford, they are trying to push for a European place, and this was a big dent for them. They still have some hope, but a big dent for them, having gone down 3-0 to the Citizens. Well, let's see what happens with Brentford. Let's see what happens with City. One team surging towards silverware, and the other team, of course, as we say, fighting for a European place. Tottenham.
Speaking of relegation,
Yeah, they've gotten a couple wins, you know. But guess what? On Monday, they had to slow their roll
slow it down.
because Leeds, and we spoke about
We
Leeds.
spoke, yeah, we've
They've been
obviously-
impressive towards the end of the season, right?
They don't give up.
Yeah,
they
don't give up, and they have a way of finding goals. And Spurs would have loved to have beaten this Leeds team, but guess what?
Yeah,
Leeds
they-
found a goal. It was 1-1 in the end, and Spurs missed the opportunity to stretch that gap between themselves
And they needed that win badly. They needed that win badly.
because they would have gotten 3 points. Now they've only got one. So that,
Right.
that gap is only 2 points now.
Yeah, so it's still an open relegation
Still
battle.
wide open. Spurs could still drop under their new coach Roberto De Zerbi. So as we said, 2 points clear of relegation zone. Just 2 games remaining. Still in their hands, but they need to make sure they don't slip up. For Leeds, they've been impressive, as we said, towards the end of the season, and you know they've shown some signs.
Right, and I think mathematically they are safe. They have nothing worried.
Yeah, they have nothing worried about. So they're showing some signs. So let's see what they do, especially how they build on this confidence going into next season. They had a good run in the FA Cup as well.
Right.
They probably dreaming a little bit about a Cinderella run all the way to the final. That got slowed, but they've turned in a good season. So all eyes now turn to Wembley. Speaking of the FA Cup, that FA Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester City. Now, the thing about it is that obviously Manchester City are clear favourites.
Right.
And it would be their second cup of the season. As we said, they already won the Carabao Cup. But Chelsea, it's a huge opportunity for them to salvage something from a disappointing season. A season that has just, it started so well,
So, that's what I was about to say.
it just fell off a
Bro,
cliff.
they had such a magnificent start. For see them the years so now, very surprising. I don't mind, you know, because I don't like them either. But yo,
Yeah.
you know, in a football world, it's very, very disappointing.
And as we said, Manchester City clear favourites. They're priced at $1.76 to lift
Good
the trophy. And of course, you know, that reflects their consistency and depth and so on. Chelsea, they're outsiders, $4. And a tight tactical battle is expected over the 90 minutes. The draw is at $3.80. So
It's
that
clear-
shows you. That tells you everything you need to know.
It's clear that Man City are the favourites. And you can't really blame the bookkeepers, Jordan, because Chelsea has been very poor in the league. I mean, they're what now? They got a draw.
They got a draw
They got
against
a draw.
Liverpool at Anfield. So
Yeah.
that stopped the bleeding a little bit. But they're hanging on for dear life. But as I say, what this represents is a lifeline.
Yeah.
So since the league has been going so poorly for them,
Yeah, they need
if
to
they
stop
can win this,
something.
and this would be a big upset for one, you'd be beating Manchester City. Plus now you'd give your fans something to cheer
Care
about.
about, right? And they need it.
And they need it.
They need it.
And you see even European places slipping away from them. You know, this is not a fan base who's going to settle for that. They've spent so much money. So,
And they're used to European football.
oh yes,
as well.
oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So we know that you know, it was Southampton who were turned back, and then Chelsea booked their spot after they stopped Leeds, as we mentioned. Leeds' impressive run. Manchester City had turned back Southampton, who beat Arsenal, by the way, and were on their own fairy tale run. So let's see what the script writers have for us in that final in the FA
It
Cup
should be a
at
good one.
Wembley. But I just hope it's a tough match because I want City to be tired, tired, heading into the last couple of games of the season.
That's a big concern in a Jordan. This run of games will actually test their mental stability and physical stability as
Indeed.
well, and it will definitely be an advantage for Arsenal because so much games in such a short space, fatigue and all of that.
Because you have Palace on Wednesday,
Palace
then you have the FA Cup final, then you have to get ready for Bournemouth.
For Bournemouth,
And that Bournemouth
Three
team
tough
is
matches.
yeah. Back,
three
back,
teams
back.
that will run at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see how that turns out. Fingers crossed. They keep bucking their toe. Now over to the Premier League. A fascinating Premier League clash awaits, of course. Liverpool, as we said, chasing momentum at a crucial stage of the season with European places on the line, which I think they will get. They are going up against Aston Villa now. Aston Villa, strong, but the question is, they're now into
Exactly.
the Europa League final. Unai Emery is a Europa League master. He's
He's the most successful coach.
I believe so. So it's Sevilla and Villarreal.
Right.
They say it's always a Villa.
He's always a Villa.
Aston Villa, Sevilla, Villarreal.
Right.
You know, Spanish, they pronounce
the
it
man
Villa.
for the Europa
But
League.
he's a man for the Europa League, and Villa teams are the teams for the Europa League. So he's into the final. So he'll be looking to to build on that, of course, and he can secure Champions League spot with winning the Europa League anyway.
Right.
So maybe,
Yeah,
who
which one
knows?
do you prioritize?
Exactly. Maybe he doesn't send out his full team against a Liverpool team in the league, saving up his team, his best team for the Europa League final. Let's see. Liverpool, of course, we know they want to rebound from their draw against Chelsea and get another win. So that will be an interesting subplot to watch. Otherwise, could be a very, very entertaining game. These two teams play really high tempo, entertaining football.
Yeah, they have good attacking football.
And so let's see what happens there. The market reflects just how tight this one could be. Aston Villa at $2.90 to take all 3 points. And then Liverpool, $2.12. So that's very, very close. And the draw is available at $3.80. So it shows you, and as I say, it's hard to call. And of course, you'd expect the bookmakers to kind of price it like this.
Right.
But then again, as we get closer, we'll kind of get an idea as to which Aston Villa team will turn up. And then I'm sure the odds will slide either way, right?
Yeah.
So let's see how that one turns out. Let's see. I mean, Villa, as I said, you still have that. I'm never the type of person to say prioritize one thing and just throw away the other, because what then if you lose the Europa League final?
That's my next point.
Through some sheer bad luck, a couple of teams pass you, and then next thing you know, you're out of the Europa League for next year.
And trophy.
And then know you're down to the Conference League or whatever it is. So I'm sure you still want to make sure that you're giving a bona fide effort in each game.
Right, I agree. Even
ethics of sport.
Yeah, even if you try to salvage a point just to keep it.
Yeah, so that one definitely should be one to watch. Arsenal return to the Emirates. Of course, the job is clear, and Arsenal know they just need to win to keep the title run on track. So, after a few stumbles, Mikel Arteta's side have been, I would say, fairly decisive and fairly ruthless. I mean, a lot of people talking about the fact that we're not scoring a lot of goals, whatever.
We
beat Fulham 3-0.
You just needed 3 points.
But we've been getting 3 points, and it has been showing in the confidence of the team, I think, since the return of Bukayo Saka. And they're going up against Burnley. So, Burnley, nothing to play for except pride. And, you wonder what kind of fight they have left in them. So obviously you would have to say that this is going to be a one-sided contest.
Yes.
Certainly in the eyes of the bookmakers.
It doesn't matter what type of pride Burnley has. The fact that you guys are going to be at home, this will give that extra boost. Yeah, I think this is the game where you guys will get a lot of goals.
I hope so. I hope we put them out of sight in this one. Arsenal have dominated this fixture in the recent meetings. Of course, heavily favoured once again, as we've said, Shav. And, we don't expect anything to change this time. The odds tell the story for this one, people. Arsenal at $1.10.
That goes to show you.
Don't get much better than that to claim the victory. The draw is, looking at what the draw is, it would be a major setback, of course, to Arsenal to get the draw. And the draw is sitting at $8, while a shock Burnley victory is at $21.
And I love the big odds, but this one I won't try to chance this one.
Yeah, I mean,
see it happening.
I can see some people out there, madman or not, tempted, just getting too tempted by the $21 and probably put in a little, there's one side, but yeah, come on, this shows you just how one-sided this tie is expected to be. Of course, you don't want to muck your toes. The good thing for Arsenal though is that the Champions League semi-final is out the way, so there's no midweek matches, and so they have the full week to prepare for Burnley, get whoever needs to be healthy, and put this Burnley team away. I'm with you. I think this is the team where Arsenal could really try to rack up the goals against. So the floodgates could open. Manchester City, they return to the Etihad, knowing that there is no room for error for them.
Zero.
With the Premier League title race on the line. And of course, they know that standing in their way is going to be another tough contest. Pep Guardiola's side remain locked in pursuit of Arsenal after their 3-0 win over Brentford, as we spoke about earlier, and they're expected to deliver on home soil. Standing in their way, Crystal Palace. They have confidence, but do they have the quality? I guess is the question. Oliver Glasner's side, they've balanced league duties with European football, and as we mentioned, they're in the Conference League final.
Conference League final.
And so again, you say, which one do you prioritize? I know they want to win a trophy for sure, another trophy for sure. And I think this is the opportunity for them to do that. But then again, you still have good league ambitions if you're Crystal Palace. They're far down the table now, but the points difference is not that great if you look all the way down to the mid-table,
Right.
all the way up to like 6th and 7th.
So
you know,
basically, you're saying there's still something to play for in
there's
the
something
Premier
to play
League.
in the Premier League for Crystal Palace.
That's not good news for City.
It's not, but I do think though City will have the handle on this one. The odds, City heavy favourites $1.17 as expected. The draw is Palace is at $6.50 by the way, and Palace is at $13
Right.
to
And
win.
The draw.
And the draw is at
That's
$6.50.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
But I mean, I really do think City will have a handle on this one, and I do think that as much as I'm saying that Palace still have a little bit to play for in the league, I still think they're going to be prioritizing the Conference League.
Yeah, because they need that trophy.
Need that trophy.
And that gives them
Automatic qualification to Europa League. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what they will be focusing on. Last but not least, League 1. League 1 action takes center stage.
Atina Jordan.
Because guess what? You see Paris Saint-Germain, it's not quite over yet, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. And we thought because they're dominating the Champions League like that, they would have got their league already, but it's not so.
Yeah, no, it's
Lens is on their tail.
Unlike Bayern, who they eliminated. Bayern already won the Bundesliga, but they have to face that Lens team. That's gonna be intense, organized, and of course they'll have a backing of a passionate crowd. And let's see what they can do to disturb the mighty PSG. Of course, PSG will be favourites, not without pressure, because they want to win, obviously, League 1 and the Champions League. Champions League will be back to back for them.
Right.
I know that Arsenal are standing in their way, but the odds reflect just how intriguing this matchup could be, because Lens, they're at $3.33 to claim a big win. A draw is at $3.80, and of course PSG big favourites at $1.93.
That's going to be such an interesting matchup because PSG is leading by 6 points. So Lens can really cut them down and probably steal the title. It's possible.
Yeah, I don't really see it happening, but
Yeah.
as you say, with how PSG have, I guess, rotated, it's been a big talking point as well. They've saved, I should say, most of their best talent for the Champions League.
Right. But
And that's why they've been so dominant throughout the Champions League run. But right now, they'll have to lock back in to the league,
and that goes
because
to
the Champions League doesn't come up until after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But do you prioritize this match worrying about injuries or anything like that? Because anything can happen in those
True.
90 minutes.
True, and you don't want, one of your big players to go down with an injury right before
Not
the Champions
right.
League final.
No.
So I get your point, and I know Lens will be gunning for this one, but I'd still give PSG the strong upper hand in this one. Of course, the bookmakers, they reflect that in the odds, so I expect that to play true to form for this one. And I think they'll have too much room in the end. I don't think that they'll be caught for the League on title.
Okay.
But Shav, the favorite time for you, when you and Chris get to go through some real scenarios
I tell you.
and go through the bet builder. The lovely bet builder, the ones that the fans love now, the punters
No, the point
are really getting into this bet builder thing, right?
And Chris is such a genius when it comes down to that. Every day may I get different DMs, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So, I'm going to make way now for you and Chris to get into that segment.
All right, Chris, welcome back. It's another week,
Good
you
to
know
be
it
back,
go.
sir.
Another day upon the job. You know our
man.
thing different,
Our
so
thing good.
Yeah, you know how it go.
So how you feel last week, man?
Chris, it was a rough week in the market,
Why? Because Arsenal win?
Yeah, it a draw closer for me. I wear the jersey.
Oh, we are going to wear it, you know. You will wear
No, you
it.
can't say that. You
No,
can't
man.
say that, bossy.
You are going to wear it, you know why?
Why?
Arsenal have 2 more games.
Yeah, at
And
6 points that can drop.
It's not going to happen. As a Liverpool fan, but can't be biased. It won't happen.
It won't happen.
No, but
Alright.
let's not talk
Yeah,
about
we're going to
Arsenal.
talk about that, but make us see what going. All right, Chris, you know, always do some bet builder for EPL and the Spanish Premier League. I want to try something in the French League. Because the French League at the weekend, two big side of play.
French week has been hot all season.
All season, not true.
You have this nice name side, Lens.
Lens.
Yeah, man. Them and PSG, two best team so far for the season. Lens have been running them hot. They are now, second, 6 points behind PSG.
Right.
Lens have the best home record in League One. PSG have the best away record.
Okay.
So 2 games leave, 6 points. This is a must win for Lens.
Yeah.
PSG just need to avoid defeat. They avoid defeat, they win the title.
So one team want it more than the other?
Probably no. Both teams want it more. PSG want to win the triple. Because they have the Champions League final and they have the Cup final.
Okay. All right. But this sounds like a nice little pot can
No,
cook
man,
up
trust
right
me.
now.
I've come up with a very nice bit. One of your type.
All right. That's
One
all
of
I
your
want to
type.
hear.
All right.
So
Listen,
what much weight now?
All right, that's $17 odds.
Oh gosh, man. Yeah, make us
$17.
start with that. Because the punters, them are get into the groove now and as they say, the big odds them work, you know.
Yeah, because guess what? Sometimes you get the big odds, but you get logical and easy ways to win. And people gravitate to it.
Right.
So, all right, Lens best home team.
Right.
PSG best away team. PSG will rest players, as you know, them have the Champions League final.
True.
Lens has been one of the best first half home team for the whole season. So I am seeing a first half that will end in a draw.
Okay, so that's the first pick. A draw for the first half.
Yeah. And I'm seeing Lens scoring at least 2 goals.
At least 2 goals. All
But
right.
the big horse, which is PSG, will win the game
Overall.
So that's
Okay.
3 selections.
Just 3 selections.
And that's a $17.
Hold on.
3.
All right. Hold on, Chris, because y'all get me excited
$1,
right now.
$17.
$17.
Yeah, man.
$17.
5,000.
So I put $5,000 on that ticket there, Chris.
85 grand. And guess what? 85 grand, you're nice. Summer come,
Oh
you know
gosh,
the thing.
man. Oh gosh. All right, so punters, mark that one. Yeah, we're gonna try that one there together. That's gonna be the teamwork. All right. All right. So for the persons who are less risky now, I want to use the same match and give us something a little bit more safe.
You know the thing, I think this first one is probably the safest.
Probably
Even though the
safest.
odds, but guess what? You kind of look on the odds and say $17.
Right.
Risky. I don't see the risk. However, all right. So PSG and Lens, 2 attacking team, the best 2 team in France. So both of them will score.
Okay. So we're gonna have that as the first pick.
Yeah, man.
GG. Okay.
Over 2.5 goals. So, because I think PSG going to win the game anyway.
Right.
But I also think Lens will score 2 goals.
Okay.
2 goals. 1 first half, 1 second half. And then PSG will come and win the game. So that's
Okay.
4 selections.
4 selections.
And that is $6.
6. That not bad either, Chris.
Yeah,
I
5
still
grand.
my type of bet that.
30 grand.
30 grand.
I your type of it.
And as I always say, no bank now give them
No
investment.
bank
they
not
not
give
show.
them thing the boss. And guess what? That's just 95 minutes worth of work.
Right.
And you get a good return. Why I think PSG will win the game? They have never won 5 straight League One title, which is so strange. A lot of persons never really realize it.
No, that is news to me
Yeah, man.
also. Because
So-
the great PSG.
PSG. So all they need to do, draw the game, avoid defeat, and they win 5 straight. And then good.
All right, so you give with 2 solid bet builders for the
Yeah.
League One. But when we talk about important matches, you know which one may I come with?
I figure you're going to come with the Man City, just because Arsenal literally have 1.5 and that title.
Yes, man. So we have to dive deep in that one, the Chris.
Yeah.
That one they can make with some serious money.
Some serious money, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I have, it's $4. $4.
You have a $4
Yeah,
one.
but
All
guess
right.
what? It is, you know them say live? Yeah, man, it's hot.
Hot.
Yeah, man. All right,
All
so
right.
let me tell you the first thing. Erling Haaland. He's been so, you can see the frustration when he want to win and him not winning. And every time Arsenal win, you can see the frustration that come out of them. So he will score in the game.
Yeah, that's a given.
That's a given. So he'll score anytime in the game.
So that's one.
That's
thing.
one. All right. City will win the game. City will come in the game because Arsenal not going to play until Monday. So
Right.
City won't have that pressure. So I'm seeing City scoring over 3 goals.
Okay. And that's 3. So you have Erling Haaland to score anytime.
Anytime.
You have over 3.5 goals. And you have Man City to win the game.
the pressure that City will put on Crystal Palace,
Right.
they will concede a lot of corners. So I'm seeing a little over 8 corners, probably 9 or 10 corners.
Okay.
So that's 4 selections
That's
again.
4
And
selections
that's a
again.
$4.
Yeah, man.
So that's easy money.
Easy money again, Chris. So if I drop a 10 grand on that, easy 40 grand.
man, easy 40
Yeah,
grand. You just
yeah.
knock your pocket and just laugh.
Punters, yeah, man, we'll go on with some money that week, yeah. Because last week it wasn't so pretty for me, you know. So, you know, I have to make up back feet. And I go hold Chris accountable, just
Definitely.
like how, you know, hold me accountable.
definitely,
right?
man.
Yeah, man. Chris, so we're not going to overdo it, but we're going to work with them 3 bet builder there for this week.
Definitely.
And we're going to see if we can capitalize because, as we know, every week more and more money are pay out and we want some of that in the punters
Exactly,
pocket.
the punters.
Right.
The punters is the most important
Right,
ones.
right,
They need to
right.
win. They need to know that, guess what? I invest, I call it my dividends.
Yeah, man. Do you know what tagline I go?
Yeah,
Just bet
And win punters.
Yeah, man, that's how you do it, you know. Simple as that. All right, Chris, thanks again, my bro.
Yeah, man, it's
We're
a
going to talk
pleasure.
again next
Next
week.
week
And
again,
them
man.
time here, we're going to celebrate because them bet builder here, yeah,
Money.
man, solid.
Money and
All
it,
right,
boss.
big up.
Big up.
All right, so yeah, Shav, you know, I always enjoy the segment with Chris.
Always.
And of course, some interesting dynamics to how the punters can structure them ticket.
Sometimes I
maximize,
wonder
right?
where Chris think about when he build them bet builder, but I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
man, we love it. Of course, we have the Just Bet challenge. But Shav, before we get into the challenge, you have something to say.
Yes. Congratulations to FC Barcelona on winning the La Liga title. Sadly, my second team, we will go trophyless this season. But
that's
congrats.
Yeah, El Clasico and league title determined in one day. That's a tough loss for Real Madrid.
Painful, man.
Painful. And Barcelona celebrating right in front of your face after you.
Tell you, and who opened the scoring? Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. So, Barcelona, congratulations on winning La Liga. Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr.,
It not look good. Not look good.
Florentino Perez.
It do look good.
Some work to be done.
Right.
And before we get into the predictions as well, we've been keeping score with all the predictions that we've been making. And it is my regret to say that Shav has now surpassed me. From my side, I made 3 right calls from the last episode. I had PSG winning, I had Arsenal winning. Well, I had 2 actually.
Right.
And Shav, you had the draw for Leeds and Tottenham, so you got that right. And you had PSG winning, and you had City winning
Right.
as well as Arsenal. Did you have Arsenal winning?
Yes, I did.
You had Arsenal winning as well.
I
Okay.
did.
All right, so you take the lead now that, Shav. We'll keep the people up to speed with that. I think you're gone ahead 15-14 or something like that
Yes.
now.
Yeah, that's the score, right?
But anyway, who's counting unless I'm leading, right? All right, so time for the predictions. As we mentioned, this is the Just Bet Challenge, ladies and gentlemen. And this week, for a difference, we are starting off in Ligue 1.
Ligue 1.
The match we spoke about earlier, Lens versus Paris Saint-Germain. And we thought, and the bookmakers agree with us, that this match would have some interesting dynamics. So you want to take this one first, Shav?
Yeah, I'll go with this one first. I'll say that PSG will win 2-1.
I'm going to give PSG a 3-1 win for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say at the end, PSG will stamp their class.
Right.
And then all the excitement about Lens and the title chase for PSG is going to be over with after this contest. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Of course, this is in the FA Cup final. I've already said that I cannot bet against Manchester City for this one. They're too clear ahead of Chelsea in terms of form for me. I know it's a final. I know it's a neutral ground. It's Wembley. But I have City winning this one over Chelsea 3-0.
3-0, wow. I'll go and say it will be a close one, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory to Man City.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. City, again, against Crystal Palace now, in the league, of course. This one, I think City will win as well. I've said it before. I think City will probably stumble against Bournemouth, but not necessarily against Palace. I think Palace will prioritize the Conference League final. So I'm going to say City get this one by 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to top it up a notch and say City will win 4-0. Yeah, I think they're coming out gunning.
All right. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Another tricky one because, as we said, Aston Villa, they're in the Europa League final. So let's see if they'll prioritize that over this match against Liverpool. I'm going to say I don't think they will. I don't think they'll just completely forget about this and think of the Europa League final. I think it'll be a close one. And I am going to say a fairly high-scoring one. Liverpool win 3-2.
I see this one as a draw, Jordan. A 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking first.
Yeah.
But I think Liverpool will edge it 3-2. And Arsenal versus Burnley. The odds makers told you. I think Burnley's at $21 to win. You know it is expected to be one-sided. I know all City fans are cheering for Burnley
And
in
Shav.
this one. I know Shav is cheering for Burnley. But people, I can't see this going any other way. I think Arsenal will win 4-0.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a 3-0 victory, for sure. I mean, Burnley will put up a small fight, but in the end...
The class will show.
Yeah, the class will show. Yeah.
All right, people. Of course, you know, the road to the greatest show on earth is heating up, and this is your last week. You heard that right.
Final
This week is the last week, Shav, to get involved. Of course, JustBet is giving you the chance to experience a football journey like no other. All you have to do is place a bet of $2,500 or more. You can do that online or you can do it in store for a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to New York for the football experience of a lifetime. One of the best football experience. You probably won't get a better football experience
Greatest show on
than
earth.
this. The greatest show on earth in the Big Apple, all expense paid, money in your pocket. You heard that right, people. $2,500 or more online or in store. Then, it's the important part.
Yes.
Complete the entry form, goalrush.justbetja.com. So go to goalrush.justbetja.com, complete the entry form, and you'll be entered for a chance to win that magical football experience. Entries close on May 16. May 16.
Mark the date, guys.
Get involved,
Trust me.
people. A lot of you are betting $2,500 or more daily. Please get involved. So, Shav, all left for me to do is rap and press some Arsenal shirts to carry for you next week. I'll carry a variety of them, people. Which color you prefer? Red? Prefer the red jersey? You prefer away jersey? You prefer... It's alright, don't worry yourself, man. You carry all of them.
They really are
You can decide-
going to do this, you know?
Yeah, man, we carry
Really
all
are
of
gonna
them, man.
do
You can
this.
make a decision after that. That is a wrap for this week's episode of Just Bet TV, your go-to spot for sports betting insights, match previews, and of course, fan-fueled debates. And of course, as we always say, if you have a hot take or a winning bet, drop
Yeah.
it in the comments.
Share it with we. Share it with
man,
the
share
people.
it. Share it. I might feature it on the show in the coming week. That's been it for Just Bet TV, your game, your passion. I'm Jordan,
And I'm Shav.
and we will see you
Next week.
week.